This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. And welcome to my review of X-Wing Starfighters of Adumar. And before I go in, please go and support my petition to go and restore the Star Wars Expanded Universe. And going into this was another great entry into the X-Wing series. And the final one I had to read, since only this one and Ice Rider's Revenge are the only ones that haven't been put up as unabridged audiobooks, and I do hope the Essential Legends collection does add these to them because both are incredible Star Wars stories. And going into this one specifically, it does the final thing we needed to see from these books, which is see Wedge Antilles and Aiello Siri get together finally and be able to have that relationship that is set up later on. Obviously, through other books, I know that Wedge and Aiello get together, but never knew specifically what story it happened in. And considering that I just went through all the Star Wars EU books I had today, and I have 129 books in that series, at least physically, and then I think another like at least 30 to 40 that I own exclusively as audiobooks. I only have like a dozen books that, literally a dozen books from the EU that I don't own in either a physical or audiobook format, with a good amount of me owning them in both. And honestly, this was just a really good story to have. It also is set on an interesting planet of Adamar where they do go and highly respect starfighter pilots, and that was really interesting again, unique concept for this, where Wedge, Tycho, Hobby, and Wes Jansen are there. Of everyone, I do think that it would have made sense to probably bring Corran Horn, but that was definitely the character that was very heavily used by Michael Stackpole, and I think that Aaron Olson just didn't want to mess around with him too much. Really, only time I could think of Corran appearing in one of his X-Wing books specifically is in Solo Command, where he goes in, shoots down one of the brainwashed members of Rogue Squadron. Obviously, he doesn't know he's brainwashed at the time, but he's forced to do it in the moment. And besides that, I really can't think of too much from him. But I do think of a natural choice of people that Wedge would want to bring with him. It would be definitely he would bring Tycho with him. I do think that makes a lot of sense because of how close he was to Tycho. And I mean, he jokingly hates Jansen, but Jansen's one of his closest friends, so I definitely think he'd bring him. And I think Hobby does make sense, but I feel like if he's bringing someone to truly represent the New Republic, it's not going to hurt to bring a Jedi with you, since by this point, Corran has had Jedi training because this is set after the events of the Jedi Academy trilogy slash iJedi. And that's obviously told through the fact that in that story he begins a relationship with a different woman, and they break up at the beginning of this story to go and finally get Wedge and Ayala together, and honestly, that's really great. I think they definitely serve together really well. Again, literally the only story that I've seen that other love interest in is iJedi so far, because I haven't read the Jedi Academy trilogy yet. But honestly, I do like that relationship. It was really well built up through the X-Men novels that they appear in together, and I think it was ultimately the better choice to do it. Really did enjoy them, and I thought they were great. And I mean, even Corin more or less Nikolai Stackwell was saying that yeah, this relationship isn't a great idea at the I Jedi, but there was this thing like, but yeah, you do you. So it was because that relationship was already set up in the Jedi Academy trilogy, and I Jedi was at first retelling the events of that trilogy. But yeah, I'm just talking a lot about a bunch of other stuff, but I mean, it's just that he was just such an interesting era, and which is why I want to have it brought back because there's just so much just insane stuff to talk about, and it's just so hard to talk about one project without talking about all the other great stuff around it. But yeah, with this, it was super intriguing with just so many great twists and turns going that I really didn't see coming. I think it was just super interesting that Wedge was basically stuck in a position where he really was in a lose-lose situation. The New Republic representative wanted him to go and cross a bunch of moral lines. He didn't want to do that, but also, he was fearing that he was going to have that person report to General Kraken. Which, another fun fact is, I didn't even know that was a character that was in one of the movies. Technically, it's through retcon, but Kraken is a character that is in Return of the Jedi, and this is established in both the EU and the current canon. And the only reason I even figured out about this is because I learned he had a Lego minifigure in the Lego B-Wing set, the most recent Playscale one. And I mean, he has a unique head and torso print, and just because of how integral he is to the New Republic and New Republic intelligence, I decided to get the figure when I was placing a Bricklake order for something you'll be seeing in a week or two. Completely other side story, but that was just an interesting fact I recently learned that I wanted to find a way to bring up in some kind of video. Maybe I'll do its own video on him also because he's an interesting character. But just going back to this, it was just honestly really great to see that Wedge is well, he's still a character that sticks by his morals, and if he was told to do something that he just found as morally wrong, he was going to resign from the New Republic and had really no idea what to do with himself. But yeah, it's not just super interesting. The Adamari culture here was really interesting, with a real like lack of respect for life and them just wanting honorable deaths. It was super interesting, and I think it was just really well done. It was super interesting to see this different planet and the New Republic being able to get them to join by Wedge doing the right thing, and if he did the wrong thing, it probably would have led still to a civil war that would have gone on way longer for the Imperials to be able to attack and take over the planet. So yeah, honestly, I think I really, and this Wedge was the only person who could have done this. He was just shown as truly an honorable man, and honestly, just Wedge Antilles is such an intriguing character through these novels. It's really only in these that you could truly appreciate him as a character because in everything else, I mean, he's just kind of a background character. And the only other one that's I don't remember what I was talking about. I think it's probably the last X-Wing book. Maybe something else. Maybe it's just a conversation I was having with someone, and I'm just completely forgetting about that. But Wedge is just a great character due to the fact that I mean he is going to stand up for the right thing, but also he really is only developed in the EU and Disney canon. He really only appears in the Aftermath trilogy, and I mean that he's not done. I mean terribly, but he's also not done super well or intriguing because he's taken out of the most interesting aspect of his character, which is him being a pilot because he gets seriously injured in that. So yeah, honestly, just really great story. It was super intriguing, and I love that entire thing where Wedge has to leave a rebellion against this planet to be able to go and to be able to do the right thing. And overthrow an unjust government. And when he learns that it's all a New Republic person's manipulations, he gives just a great moment where he's like, you have one or two choices. You could either face a New Republic court, or you can face this angry mob of people. Your choice, and he gets the guy to do what he wants by that. Honestly, these are both great books, and it's a real shame that the author Aaron Alston did pass away because he seems like such a great fan, and I would have loved to meet him. But yeah, honestly, I want to know what you think. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Please also support my petition to restore the EU, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.